हरि ओम सर्वगुरुभ्यो नमः। ओम भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात्। कर्मणेवां देवेभ्यः सकेयं वेशायत्वा प्रत्युष्टकं रक्षा प्रत्युष्टा अरातयो धूरसि दूर्वं तं योऽस्मां दूर्वतितं दूर्वयम् वयं दूर्वामस्त्वं देवानामसि सस्नितमं पप्रितमं जुष्टतमं वह्नितमं देवहूतममहृतमसि हविर्धानं दृगं हस्त्वमाह्वार्मित्रस्य त्वा चक्षुषा प्रेक्षे माभिर्मा संविक्ता मा त्वाहिगं सिचमुरुवाताय देवस्य त्वा सवितुः प्रसवेरश्विनोर्बाहुभ्यां पूष्णो हस्ताभ्याम् अग्नये जुष्टं निर्वपाम्यग्निः सोमाभ्यां देवानामिदमुनः सह स्वात्वैता नारात्यै सुवरभिविक्केशं वैश्वानरं ज्योतिर्दृगं हन्तां दुर्याद्या वा पृथिव्यो उर्वन्तरिक्षमन्मिः अजित्या स्वोपस्थे साधयाम्यग्ने हव्यगं रक्षस्व। हरि ओम। ओम शांति शांति शांति। So today actually started on Monday. The theme for this week's Vedic mantras I did were all from for the Upakarma. This is from the Krishna Yajurveda. Uh, the tradition is on that day we start. Of course, we also do the Gayatri mantra. That's the reason I had the Gayatri mantra. And typically we start with the four anuvakas, the first four anuvakas. That is called the Adhyayana, beginning of Adhyayana. And actually, I did one Anuvaka each time. So this week's theme was using the Yajurveda Upakarma for the uh, opening verses. And actually, Krishna Yajurveda has, I did four Anuvakas. Krishna Yajurveda has 1,279 Anuvakas. If it is recited without so many background or anything, almost non-stop, it takes 40 hours to do that. So it's quite a bit very voluminous. न्यस्तात्मीयपरं वरप्रदगुरौ वैराग्यभाग्यो ददौ वेदान्तामृतसारवन्तमनघात् श्रीश्रीनिवासात् गुरोः श्रीशैलान्वयकौस्तुभस्य तनयं श्रेयो निधे श्रीनिधेः वन्दे साधुकटाक्षकेलिनिलयं श्रीकृष्णसद्देशिकम् प्रपन्नपारिजाताय तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः. So yesterday we covered a little bit of Krishna's advice started yesterday after Arjuna totally surrendered to him. And that is where here the Karpanya dosho pahatasvabhavaha pritchami tvam dharma sammuda chetaha yatshreyasyan nishchitam bruhitanme shishyasteham shadiman tvam prapannam, he said. Only when he surrendered to him and asked for advice and asked him to tell me what I should do, order me. The shadi is kind of what is the orderly thing to do, he said. Then Krishna, even after that, Krishna did not immediately jump in. He let Arjuna say one more verse, right? You have nahi prapashyami mamapanudyat yachoka muchoshanam indriyanam avapya bhuma vasapatna vriddham rajyam suranam api shadhipatyam. So he did not immediately jump in. He let him listen, let him say what he was saying, and then he started the advice. This is very typical. A lot of time we want to start giving advice even before the question has been, even the person has not even finished what that person was saying. We want to jump in and as a troubleshooters. But Krishna was very patiently listening all through. At no time he interrupted him. Only after he had gone through all that and without saying anything, reclined in the back of the chariot. Then Krishna asked, what is this garbage going on like that, he asked. Even then there was no advice. Only when Arjuna asked for advice, he started giving the message. So this is very typical of our culture. We don't jump into giving advice to people unless it's a life-threatening situation. We just listen and take our time, and then only we give. Only when they ask for advice, we give the advice. That is a typical standard. And if you notice that the same Krishna's brother Balarama, he did not want to participate in the war. He said, I will go on pilgrimage. He booked on a tour of all the holy places of Bharata. Krishna never stopped him uh, because Balarama had no doubt. He just had made up his mind. He never sought uh, any advice. He said, I am not going to participate. I like Duryodhana, I like Bhima. Both of them are my students in teaching the mace. So I won't participate. And Krishna never stopped him. Only Arjuna, when he had doubt, when he's confused, and he sought advice, he started teaching him, which is something I wanted to bring it up today. So we'll move on to where we stopped yesterday. It was 18. So we'll go, yeah. ययेनं वेत्ति हन्तारं यश्चैनं मन्यते हतम् उभौ तौ न विजानीतो नायं हन्ति न हन्यते. So here he is telling that one who thinks, I killed, like one who says, Ayenam Vetti Hantaram, I am the one who participated and killed people in this war, one who thinks like that. And the one who thinks I got killed, right? One who considers as the killer, and the one who thinks is killed, it is killed. It means, refers to the soul here. So both of them do not know, for it neither kills nor it is killed. So it refers to the soul here. Soul never kills and it is never killed. So that is the, because he's not talking about the body here, as we recall that he was started talking about separating the body and the soul. Soul as eternal and soul doesn't kill, it cannot be killed, all those things. So, yayenam vetti hantaram,
य एनं वेत्ति हन्तारम्
यश्चैनं मन्यते हतम्,
यश्चैनं मन्यते हतम्
उभौ तौ न विजानीतो,
उभौ तौ न विजानीतो
नायं हन्ति न हन्यते.
नायं हन्ति न हन्यते.
So it neither kills nor it gets killed. So this is a little lengthier verse in the Trishtub meter. Najayate mriyate va kadachit nayam bhutva bhavitha va na bhuyah ajo nityah shashvatoyam purano nahanyate hanyamane sharire. It's a very popular verse. One of the verse go for typically Hindu memorial services. So many of them happen nowadays as people are getting old. I attend many of them. So this verse, they usually will have it in their kind of in the front, up front. So najayate briyate va. It is not born and it doesn't die at any time. It is najayate. It is not born. Why? If it's not born, how it can die? It is not being, it was not even there. Nayam bhutva, not being there. Bhavita vanabhuya. It doesn't stop from being. So ajo nityaha. Aja means not born. It didn't have any janma. Nityaha is always there. Shashvata, permanent. Purana, it is primeval, ancient, all the time it has been there. Nahanyate, hanyamane sharire. Only sharira is, body is, can be killed, but soul is not. Nahanyate, it cannot be killed. So this is, it is never born, so it never dies. It never came into being, nor will it ever cease to be. Unborn, eternal, changeless, and primeval, it is not killed when the body is killed. So it here, all that it refers to the Atma or the soul. So najayate mriyate va kadachit
न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचित्
nayam bhutva bhavita va na bhuyah
नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूयः
ajo nitya shashvatoyam purana
अजो नित्यः शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो
nahanyate hanyamane sharire.
न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे.
Veda vinashinam nityam yayenamajamauvyayam katam sa purusha partha kang ghatayati hantikam. Here he says that it is one who knows. Veda means one who knows. To know is called Veda. Veda means vid is to know. One who knows the soul is Vinashi, eternal, Nityam. And it is not born and Avyayam, Ajam, Avyayam, Nityam, Vinashi. All these are properties of the soul. So it is not born, it is Avyayam, there is Vyaya is spending away. If you spend a lot of money, we say Vyaya. Avyaya is it cannot be exhausted. It's always there. So one who knows that such a person, Katham, such a person, O Partha Arjuna, how can he think he can kill or incite another to kill? He can neither kill himself or make someone else to kill. Veda vinashinam nityam
वेदाविनाशिनं नित्यं
yayenam ajam avyayam
ययेनमजमव्ययम्
katham sa purusha partha
कथं स पुरुषः पार्थ
kang ghatayati hantikam.
कं घातयति हन्तिकम्.
This is another very popular sloka. It's also in the Trishtub meter, little lengthier. Vasansi jirnani yatha vihaya navani gृह्णाति naroparani tatha sharirani vihaya jirnani anyani sanyati navani dehi. Here, once the vasamsi, the cloth which has worn out, and the cloth is worn out, just like we throw that and put on a new cloth. That is what people do when uparani, when the cloth is, we discard it. Like that, the soul, when the body is getting old, jirnani, it is getting old and living and falling apart, it leaves that and gets into another body, navani dehi, finds a new body. So it leaves the one which is jirnani shariram and then goes to navani dehi. So it goes that vasamsi jirnani. So it is very popular sloka, this one also. And in 1946, T.P. Kailasam, we all know, was very humorous person. He would always to see a lot of wordplay. He took this sloka and said that Vasamsi jirnani etavihaya navani gृह्णाति naroparani tata kutirani vihaya papi banglani sayyati high ground pradeshe. So how all the politicians from wherever got in and got into a lot of power. They were, this was in 1946 itself. India had not even gotten independence. But as you know, in the British India also there were elections. So there were elections going on at that time in a different way, not exactly in a national, but each area had election. The Congress party, the Muslim League party, they also had the Hindu Mahasabha party. They were all contesting and they were even forming governments. So British was letting them some kind of a freedom. So at that time, Kailasam took this sloka and modified it. One more time, Vasansi jirnani yatha vihaya navani gृह्णाति naroparani tata kutirani vihaya papi banglani sanyati high ground pradeshe. So one in Sanskrit, most of the time we read exactly as it is written. Unlike in English, in Sanskrit we do that. There are few words where we write one way, read it the other way. It is it is written as Grishnati always. You can see that Grishnati, but we pronounce it as Grinhati. Same thing for Brahma also. We write Brahma, we call it as Brahma. We read it as Brahma. There are few words like that where we don't read exactly what we write. Otherwise, 99% of the time we read exactly as it is written. Now let us do this. Repeat this verse. Vasansi jirnani yatha vihaya
वासांसि जीर्णानि यथा विहाय
navani grannhati naroparaणि
नवानि गृह्णाति नरोपराणि
तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णानि
तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णानि
अन्यानि संयाति नवानि देहि.
अन्यानि संयाति नवानि देहि.
Here's another nice popular verse. Nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavakaha, na chainam kledam yantyapo, na shoshayati marutaha. This is na enam. Enam means this. This means soul here. Chindanti shastrani. It is not split by weapons. You cannot split it using. You cannot do chidram of that using weapons. Nainam dahati pavakaha. Na enam dahati pavakaha. The fire does not burn it. Na cha enam kleda entyapo. This is not drowned either. Even tsunami cannot drown it. So, nacha enam kleda enti apo. Apo is water. Kleda enti, it doesn't wet it. It is not wet by water. It is not burnt by fire. It is not split by weapons. Na shoshayati marutaha. It is not marutaha as wind doesn't wither it away. It doesn't dry it. So that is talking about how soul cannot be split, cannot be burned, cannot be blown away, and cannot be drowned or cannot be made wet. Nainam chindanti shastrani.
नैनं चिन्दन्ति शस्त्राणि
Nainam dahati pavakaha.
नैनं दहति पावकः
Na chainam kledayantyapo.
न चैनं क्लेदयन्त्यापो
Na shoshayati marutaha.
न शोषयति मारुतः.
The same thing continues, same kind of how sustaining the soul is. Achedyoyam adahyoyam akledyo shoshya evacha nitya sarvagatasthānuhu achaloyam sanatanaha. It cannot be, again, repeats the same thing in a different words. It cannot be cut or burnt or drenched. Same theme repeated using different words. Drenched or dried. So same thing expressed in different words. So it is everlasting. Nityaha is everlasting. Sarvagataha, it is pervading everywhere. It is sarvagata, just like the wind is everywhere. This is also pervading everywhere. At the same time, stanuhu, it is moving around and also fixed. Kind of both the both the wind and also it is established in a place that is stable. Achaloyam. Achaloyam also it is not moving. Sanatanaha. It is eternal, always there. So it cannot be cut, burnt, or drenched, or dried. It is everlasting, all pervading. Sarvagataha is all pervading, stable. That is, Thanu is stable, like Sthana, stable, and immovable, Achala, immovable. Sanatana is primeval, always there. Achedyoyam adahyoyam.
अच्छेद्योऽयमदाह्योऽयम्
Akledyo shoshya evacha.
अक्लेद्यो शोष्य एव च
Nitya sarvagatasthānuhu.
नित्यः सर्वगतः स्थाणुः
Achaloyam sanatanaha.
अचलोऽयं सनातनः.
Further continues describing the properties of the soul. Avyaktoyam achintyoyam avikaryoyam uchyate tasmadevam viditvainam nanushochitu mahasi. The avyakta is unmanifest. Nobody has seen the soul. Avyakta, vyakti is when we can see a person. Avyakta means cannot see. It is avyank. It also achintyoyam. We can't even think about it. We cannot think about it. We cannot see it. It is beyond form, beyond thought, or change. Avikarya. Vikara is change. Avikarya, it's changeless. It is changeless. And it is said as uchyate means it is said to be not seen, cannot be thought of, and doesn't change. Tasmadevam viditvainam. Having known that, Tasmat, that therefore having evam this, having known that, nanu shochitu marhasi. Where is the reason for you to feel sad or grieve? Right? Why should you grieve? We are talking about all these people going away, killing everything. So, avyaktoyam achintyoyam
अव्यक्तोऽयमचिन्त्योऽयम्
avikaryoyamuchyate
अविकार्योऽयमुच्यते
tasmadevam viditvainam
तस्मादेवं विदित्वैनं
नानुशोचितुमर्हसि
नानुशोचितुमर्हसि
अथ चैनं नित्यजातं नित्यं वा मन्यसे मृतं तथापि त्वं महाबाहो नैनं शोचितुमर्हसि. Even if you believe that soul is perpetually subjected to birth and death, because that's what he was telling, right? It comes and goes, and the body goes, it takes, you can think of it as soul was gone, but it was born again by entering the new body. If you want to think like that, even if you believe like that the soul is perpetually subject to birth and death, why should you grieve even then? Because it dead, it comes back. So it doesn't, it's not permanently gone. So there is no, even if you understand it that way, what I have been saying, still there is no reason for you to grieve. Na enam shochitam arhasi. It doesn't deserve to be. Mahabaho is Arjuna, tatapi tvam mahabaho. So there is no reason for you to grieve. Even if you assume like that, oh, it dies and it's born. Um, अथ चैनं नित्यजातं
अथ चैनं नित्यजातं
नित्यं वा मन्यसे मृतं
नित्यं वा मन्यसे मृतम्
तथापि त्वं महाबाहो
तथापि त्वं महाबाहो
नैनं शोचितुमर्हसि.
नैवं शोचितुमर्हसि
जातस्य हि, this is another very common word, जातस्य हि ध्रुवो मृत्युः ध्रुवं जन्म मृतस्य च तस्मादपरिहार्येऽर्थे न त्वं शोचितुमर्हसि. Now he is talking about this is now he's talking more about the body also. See, death is certain for all who are born. Jatasya hi dhruvo, jatasya maranam dhruvam. Same thing, jatasya hi dhruvo mrityuhu. Then dhruvam janma mritasya cha. Rebirth is also certain. If both are inevitable. Tasmad apariharyerte, apariharyerte. There is no parihara for this. This is inevitable. See, all these words they use in Kannada also, parihara, or other languages also. There is no parihara for this. It's aparihara, arte. So, natvam shochitam arhasi. So, there is no reason for you to worry or grieve. So, even you don't have to worry about soul here, just about anyone who is born, they have to die. Jatasya maranam dhruvam. So, this is inevitable aspect. So, no reason for you to grieve over that. जातस्य हि ध्रुवो मृत्युः
जातस्य हि ध्रुवो मृत्युः
ध्रुवं जन्म मृतस्य च
ध्रुवं जन्म मृतस्य च
तस्मादपरिहार्येऽर्थे
तस्मादपरिहार्येऽर्थे
न त्वं शोचितुमर्हसि.
न त्वं शोचितुमर्हसि
So we have a very similar verse in Bhajagovindam, right? Shankaracharya's Bhajagovindam. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jhatare shayanam. Yasamsare kaludussare kripaya pare pahi murare. That won't happen only when you are liberated. When you are moksha, it won't happen. So kripaya pare. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. I used to, lot of hiring and firing was going on. So I used to say, Punarapi hiring, Punarapi firing, Punarapi placement, center payanam. Iha job market, Kalo dussare, Kripaya pere, Pahi murare. I used to say that. So it is like, see here, a lot of the Jananam Maranam happens like that. Um, did we do this verse? Yeah, we did this. This is also kind of a very interesting verse. Avyakta adini bhutani vyakta madhyani bharata avyakta nidhana nyeva tatraka paridevana. So all of us were not seen before the adini. Before we are conceived and we are born, we are avyakta. We were there somewhere. We are not seen. Beings are formless in their beginning. They are formless in their end. Once we are gone, also we are gone, right? So only in the middle, what all we are doing is in the middle between birth and death. So we acquire the form only in between the birth and death. What is there to lament in this? So this is only, most of the time we were not there. We are here only for a very short time, really. So we were, in the beginning, we are not seen. After we are gone, we are not seen. So what is there to worry about it? अव्यक्तादीनि भूतानि
अव्यक्तादीनि भूतानि
व्यक्तमध्यानि भारत
व्यक्तमध्यानि भारत
अव्यक्तनिधनान्येव
अव्यक्तनिधनान्येव
तत्र का परिदेवना.
तत्र का परिदेवना.
It's almost like going to a movie, right? We had never seen anything, and then you go there, pay $5 and eat some popcorn and drink Coke, and after the movie is over, you come back home. So it's almost like that. You don't worry about that movie is gone, right? So this is a lengthier verse again in the Trishtub meter. Ascharyavat pashyati kaschidенam ascharyavat vadati tathaiva chanyah आश्चर्यवच्चैनमन्यः शृणोति श्रुत्वाप्येनं वेद न चैव कश्चित्. Ascharya here is translated as wonder. So some ascharyavat iti pashyati kaschit. Enam, this soul, is seen as wonder. It is seen as wonder. One who sees it as wonder. So wonder sees means you don't see it. You see it's a wonder like that. You don't even see it. Ascharyavat vadati tataiva cha anyaha. Some other people say it is really a wonder. Speak of it. Vadati means speak of it as wonder. Vadati is to speak. So ascharyavatchainam anyashrunoti. Some people only say that they see as wonder, they speak as wonder, yet another hears. Shrunoti. Shrunoti is to hear. That they hear it as wonder. So some see it as wonder, some speak it as wonder, some hear it as wonder. Shrutvapi enam. Even hearing all these things, Veda na chaiva kaschite na Veda. Nobody knows about it. Nobody knows, basically. No one knows. So one sees it as a wonder. Another speaks of it as a wonder. Yet another hears it as a wonder. And even having heard all these things, all these three lines, no one really knows. Nobody knows. Ascharyavat pashyati kaschidенam.
आश्चर्यवत् पश्यति कश्चिदेनम्
Ascharyavat vadati tathaiva chanyah.
आश्चर्यवद्वदति तथैव चान्यः
Ascharyavat chainam anya shrunoti.
आश्चर्यवच्चैनमन्यः शृणोति
Shrutvaapyenam veda na chaiva kaschit.
श्रुत्वाप्येनं वेद न चैव कश्चित्.
देहि नित्यम् अवध्योऽयं देहे सर्वस्य भारत तस्मात् सर्वाणि भूतानि न त्वं शोचितुमर्हसि. Dehi is the soul, Nityam. Dehi is always there. Avadhyoyam, it doesn't die, it cannot be killed. Dehe sarvasya, in everyone, in every deha, his dehi is there, which is eternal and which cannot be killed. So tasma, that is the way, the soul in everyone's body is eternal and imperishable, avadhyoyam. Thus you should not grieve for any living being. So everyone, not that my soul is better than your soul or somebody Bhishma's soul is better than Duryodhana's soul, nothing like that. So, oh, I won't worry about Duryodhana's soul, but I will worry only about Bhishma's soul. Doesn't matter. It's all same. So it's all uh, same common factor in all of them. So, Dehi Nityam Avadhyoyam
देही नित्यमवध्योऽयम्
Dehe Sarvasya Bharata
देहे सर्वस्य भारत
Tasmat Sarvani Bhutani
तस्मात् सर्वाणि भूतानि
Natvam Shochitumahasi.
न त्वं शोचितुमर्हसि.
So all this up to here, all this soul he was talking. Now he is going, it is still Sankhya, this is still Gnana, but it's a little lower level of Gnana, which Arjuna can very readily relate. Maybe he was talking about all this soul business to Arjuna. Maybe Arjuna was blinking. Um, so now he brings it down a little closer to him. Swadharmamapi cha vekshya navikampitum dharmyadya yuddha shreyonyate kshatriyasya na vidyate. So now he says, very don't, if you don't even look at it that way, think of this as your swadharma, Mapi, because you're a warrior. It is your swadharma. This is this battle, dharmyadi yuddha shreyon. This is a dharma yuddha. You didn't go looking for this war. It has arrived. So for a kshatriya, this is a good opportunity. So there is no reason. So there is nothing. Yuddha shreyo anyate. There is nothing superior for a nothing superior for a warrior that a war fought for preserving dharma. Dharmadya yuddhat. There is nothing like that to preserve righteousness. So thus from the point of that view, your your own duty as a warrior, you should not hesitate to fight. So forget about soul and all those things. Now this alone could be the sole reason to fight, because it is a great opportunity that comes on its own accord. Um, what happened? Something happened. Anyway, so this war has come on its own accord. There is nothing better for a kshatriya when a righteous war. It's not that, like we say, that you don't want to go and incite a war. He was not doing that. Even they were actually trying to avoid this war, but it has come as an inevitable thing. So, as a kshatriya, that itself is good for you, good enough reason to fight. Why should you walk away from it? स्वधर्ममपि चावेक्ष्य
स्वधर्ममपि चावेक्ष्य
न विकम्पितुमर्हसि
न विकम्पितुमर्हसि.
धर्म्याद्ययुद्धात् श्रेयोऽन्यत्
धर्म धर्म्यादि युद्धात् श्रेयोऽन्यत्
क्षत्रियस्य न विद्यते
क्षत्रियस्य न विद्यते.
यदृच्छया चोपपन्नं स्वर्गद्वारमपावृतं सुखिनः क्षत्रिया पार्थ लभन्ते युद्धमीदृशम्. He says that it is lucky for Kshatriya, Sukhinaha, fortunate for Kshatriyas to get this kind of Labante Yuddha Midrisham, this kind of war, because this is came on its own accord. You didn't go and look for it. This is a fortune for warriors who encounter a battle such as this, which comes on its own accord. They didn't have to go and instigate it. Because Sargadwaram Apavritam, the belief in the system is if you win in the war, of course you gain the kingdom. If you die, Virasvarga, if you die in a war, you go to heaven. So this is a good opportunity. So this is Yadrichaya Chopapannam.
यदृच्छया चोपपन्नम्
स्वर्गद्वारमपावृतम्
स्वर्गद्वारमपावृतम्
सुखिनः क्षत्रिया पार्थ
सुखिनः क्षत्रिया पार्थ
लभन्ते युद्धमीदृशम्.
लभन्ते युद्धमीदृशम्.
And at the end of the war and everything happened, at the Mahaprasthana. At the end, all these Pandavas decide to walk up to the heaven, right? They walk towards north direction. Only Yudhishthira makes it. All the other collapse before that. But for Yudhishthira, what Yama asks him to board his chariot, and he says that you have to go through hell. You don't deserve to be in hell, but only punishment for you have to see how the hell looks. The reason you have to do that is because of one mistake you did, right? Ashwatthama Hataha Kunjaraha, you had participated in that lie. So you get some punishment. In your case, the punishment is you have to go through the hell, that's all. You don't have to stay there. So when Yudhishthira walks into that, gives a little tour of the hell, Yamaloka, then when Yudhishthira enters, everyone who were feeling very pain, they actually feel relieved as long as Yudhishthira was there. So afterwards, they take Yudhishthira to heaven. So that's where you go, because he was a Punyatma. Even though he didn't die in the battle, he goes to heaven. What he is surprised is he doesn't see any of the Pandavas there yet. He sees Duryodhana, Karna, all the Kauravas he sees in the heaven. First time he gets shocked. How come all these people are in the heaven? Because he forgot that they all died in the battle as Virasvarga. They all had ascended to heaven. Okay. Yadrichaya chopapannam
यदृच्छया चोपपन्नम्
swargadvaramapavrutam
स्वर्गद्वारमपावृतम्
sukhina kshatriya partha
सुखिनः क्षत्रियाः पार्थ
labhante yuddhamidrusham.
लभन्ते युद्धमीदृशम्.
So I could imagine how Yudhishthira felt when he walked through the hell. It must have been very disturbing for him. One time we had 3 cats. One of them we lost. We don't know where it ran away. I was really feeling bad. What happened to Becky? So someone suggested, well, somebody might have found that cat and given to SPCA, Society of Prevention or whatever the pets. So you can go and check there. So I got the address and went there. But they also have dogs and cats. But the section, I am very afraid of dogs. And these are all dogs in cages. And I said, where is the cat section? I wanted to go and see if my cat is there. They said you have to walk through this dog section first because it is after that the cat section is there. So I am no Yudhishthira. When I went through that, all those dogs are barking hell. So I was so scared, even though they were in the cage. After seeing me, they didn't become more calm because I am only Koti. I'm not Yudhishthira. So I felt how Yudhishthira must have felt seeing all the punishment in heaven, the way the dogs were barking at me. So little bit of experience I had there. Yeah. Our cat was not there anyway, so I just had this. It came on its own afterwards. So अथ चेत्त्वमिमं धर्म्यं सङ्ग्रामं न करिष्यसि ततः स्वधर्मं कीर्तिं च हित्वा पापमवाप्स्यसि. So now he is putting a little guilt trip on him. अथ चेत्त्वमिमं, this righteous war, sangramam na karishyasi. If you did not participate in that, so you are actually committing sin. Because your Swadharma, you also becoming, your Swadharma itself, you're violating. So also your fame, your ill fame, right? So this is, he's putting a little bit of guilt trip on him. Now, if you don't fight in this battle, it is sanctioned by Dharma, it's a Dharma Yuddha, you will be making the mistake of ignoring your own duty, Swadharmam, and also reputation. You are known to be a great warrior, and if you don't participate, what will happen? So this is kind of a little bit of a guilt trip. So atha chettvamimam dharmyam
अथ चेत्त्वमिमं धर्म्यं
sangramam na karishyasi
सङ्ग्रामं न करिष्यसि
tata swadharmam kirtincha.
ततः स्वधर्मं कीर्तिं च
हित्वा पापमवाप्स्यसि.
हित्वा पापमवाप्स्यसि.
He continues that what kind of bad thing if you avoid fighting. Akirtin chapi bhutani katayishyanti te vyayam sambhavitasya cha kirtihi maranadatirichyate. So it is when you do this, this is people forever. Avyayam. Avyayam is forever because you will become so famous of running away from battle, right? They will speak forever about your dishonorable uh, act. Akirtin chapi katayishyanti. They speak about it for long time, forever. You will be ever known for that, right? We always say that how Uttara Kumara ran away from battle. Even now we say if someone is covered, oh, he's Uttara Kumara. We say like that. Uttara Kumara's Paurusha, like that. So someone like that, Sambhavitasya, you are such a reputable person. For such a person, marana ratirichyate. Rather than being a bad reputation, death is better. Okay, so people forever will talk about your dishonorable act, and for an honorable person like you, you're a sambhavita. Disgrace is worse than death. Maranad atiricha akirtihi maranad atirichyate. It is better to die than to live in with a bad reputation. Akirtin chapi bhutani
अकीर्तिं चापि भूतानि
katayishyanti te vyayam
कथयिष्यन्ति ते व्ययाम्.
sambhavitasya cha kirtihi
सम्भावितस्य च कीर्तिः
maranadatirichyate.
मरणादतिरिच्यते.
So say here if you see that avagraha is te avyayam, te avyayam. So they speak endlessly. What do they speak? Bayadranadu paratam mansyante tva maharathaha yeshanchatvam bahumato bhutva yasyasi lagavam. Lagavam means they speak lightly of you. Laghu. Laghu is they speak uh, the great warriors, Maharataha, they think that Mansyante, they think Bayat, you ran away because of fear. They think that we think that you ran away from the battle out of fear from Ranabhumi, right? And many who held high respect about you, many who have kept you in good, good feelings about you, they held you in high esteem, they will no longer respect you. So this they become they speak lightly of you now. They were thinking very good, that you are a very reputable person, right? So great warriors will think that you have run away from the battlefield out of fear, bayat, out of fear. Many who held you in high esteem will no longer respect you. Bayad ranadu paratam
भयाद्रणादुपरतम्
mamsyante tvam maharathaha
मंस्यन्ते त्वां महारथाः
yesham chatvam bahumato
येषां च त्वं बहुमतो
bhutva yasyasi laghavam.
भूत्वा यास्यसि लाघवम्.
So lagavam is like disrespect, thinking light about you, insignificance, like that. Avacha, continue some more. Avacha vadanscha bahun vadishyanti tavahitaha nindantastav samarthyam tato dukkhatarannukam. So they speak of unspeakable. Avacha is, they blame you. Like avacha is something unspeakable, unkind, not abusive words. They speak of you. Vadishyanti tava ahitaha. Tava ahitaha means tava ahitaha. People who already did not like you, who are jealous of you, that gives an opportunity to speak. Uh, Actually, your enemies, avahitas, are who are not your hitas, avahitas. They ridicule you, they ridicule your ability, right? And then speak lowly of you. What can be more painful or pitiful than that? Tato dukkatarannu kim nindanti tava samarthyam. They speak low of your abilities. So what can be more painful than that? Avachya vadanshcha bahun
अवाच्य वादांश्च बहून्
vadishyanti tavahitaha
वदिष्यन्ति तवाहिताः
nindantastava samarthyam
निन्दन्तस्तव सामर्थ्यम्
tato dukkatarannu kim.
ततो दुःखतरन्नु किम्
हतो वा प्राप्स्यसि स्वर्गं जित्वा वा भोक्ष्यसे महीम् तस्मात् उत्तिष्ठ कौन्तेय युद्धाय कृतनिश्चयः. So it's very straightforward. Hato va, if you die, you reach Swarga. Prapsyasi Swargam. Viraswargam. Jitva va bhokshase mahim. If you win, you will enjoy the pleasures of the earth. So therefore, tasmat uttishta, get up. Kaunteya, Arjuna, Yuddhaya Krita Nishchayaha, with a firm mind, battle with a fine mind. If you are killed, you will attain heavens. If you are victorious, you will rule over the earth. Therefore, arise, Arjuna, with a firm resolve to fight, with a Krita Nishchayaha, with a not wavering. Right. Hato va prapsasi swargam.
हतो वा प्राप्स्यसि स्वर्गम्
जित्वा वा भोक्ष्यसे महीम्
जित्वा वा भोक्ष्यसे महीम्
तस्मादुत्तिष्ठ कौन्तेय
तस्मादुत्तिष्ठ कौन्तेय
युद्धाय कृतनिश्चयः.
युद्धाय कृतनिश्चयः.
So we will stop here. There is another 13 minutes. If any questions or any comments, I know today Hari is not there, so we will not have a cherry on the top with Hari. So there may be other cherries in the audience. So, Sohini, I can unmute Sohini.
So, Dr. Koti, I was looking back to this sloka 2.29, Ascharyavat Pashyati Kastidenam, etc. Like one sees it as wonder, another speaks it as a wonder. It kind of reminds me, though here he's referring to, it is referred to soul, but it kind of reminds me of that Vrigu Balli where, Vrigu is doing tapasa, what is Brahma and Brahman. And he starts from Anna, then Prana, then mind, and ultimately he realizes it's bliss. So I kind of see kind of similarity.
Exactly. That is like saying,
Yeah. This, like, particularly this sloka to that Bhrigu how Bhrigu understood what is. So this sloka, maybe is it like the sages, they are meditating and that's what they are seeing, one as wonder, another speaks as wonder, like that. That's how the wisdom.
It's the clarity. Our actually our philosophies are called darshanam. That's the name for our philosophy. That means someone who really into it can see it like that. How can you call a book as a darshana, right? But they call philosophy as the name for philosophy is darshana in our.
Oh, wow.
So it is like one sees. Even Veda means to see. Video actually came from the Veda. It was so clear to them, they could see it.
Wow.
Video comes from the word Veda. There's a etymological relation. So Veda, of course, we don't see it. It is so clear. The idea they call it Veda is with to know. With means to know, but it's also the video comes from that with.
Thank you.
I think somebody else also had. Ashok, I think.
Yes, Dr. Koti, hi. Sir, I have a question. This is more about, I learned Hindi during school times and everything, but I never formally learned Sanskrit. And I'm trying to learn to recite these slokas. And I have a question as to how your book has depicted here. If you can go to 230, sloka 232, I'll explain better.
232, okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
this one.
So if we look at this one here, let us look at the second line. I'm talking about synthesis and how you kind of helped us below the Sanskrit in English, how to recite the poem above, right? That is the intent here. So if I read this one here, Swarga Dwara
Apavritam. Swargadwaram apavritam. Swargadwaram apavritam.
Mapavritam.
Yeah.
Swargadwaram Mapavritam,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Yeah.
So when I listen to you, I can immediately, based on my listening skills, I could repeat that the way it should be done. But if you're not there, if I'm not listening to you or listening to another learned person on YouTube, I would have read that as Swargadwaram Apavratam. So,
that's fine. Yeah, you can read
but
like
the
that. That's fine.
unionization of ma there seems to be the right way of saying it. So why in this depiction here, why didn't you break this bit between Swarga Dwara and join the ma here together is my question.
See, the word, if you split it, it is Swargadwaram apavritam. That's why he has put it. So it's a correct word is when you split it, Dwaram apavritam.
I see.
When you combine it, Dwaram apavritam, like that.
Okay, so when you're reading it, you had to union those two. Okay.
Yeah. So that is, that's why it's, you should always hear it. When you, text is only for your guidance, but hearing is always good. That's why there's very audio tapes, many are there.
That's what I'm doing. I play the audio tape and then try to recite it, looking at the words there. Thank you very much.
There is nothing wrong in saying Swargadwaram apavritam. You can say that, but the poetry goes away. The meter goes away. That's the reason we say Swargadwaram apavritam, like that.
Okay.
It technically nothing wrong, but you lose the poetry.
Got it.
If I read this as ite ichaya cha upapannam Swargadwaram apavritam, it doesn't sound that same way, right? So ete ichaya, cha upapannam, chopapannam. So we have to, when you read it, poetry, you should read it just the way it is. Either ichaya, chopapannam, otherwise it will be ete ichaya, cha upapannam, Swargadwaram apavritam, like that. So it doesn't sound that good.
Okay.
Sanskrit is a zip file. All the words are zipped. They are made compact. They were. It sounds better. Like a lot of time, if you read it just like that, it sounds better. But when they do the padapatam, even the Vedas like that, when they do the padapatam, they split every word and say it doesn't. It is only for learning. When they recite the mantra, it's always combined. When they are learning the padapatam, they word for word.
Koti sir, there are some more questions. May I share Brahmananda Guruji's audio on the WhatsApp group?
Sure, you can say that. Yeah, you can say that, and also that
the other one,
Vaneshri and Vijay Lakshmi, they are my favorite girlfriends. So you should. I mean, they were teenagers when they did that in 2006. I met them last year. I wanted to meet them all the time. Finally, we got to meet. Myself and Hari met them, and because of my 6th grade MS Krishna, he arranged for that. So we had a very great meeting. In my opinion, theirs is the best. Everybody has their bias. But any of them, Brahmananda is also fine for learning, for hearing. But for me, Gita has to come from a woman. Gita is a feminine gender. Gita is mother.
Well said.
Yeah, it should come from feminine.
So I can share those on the group, Ashok.
Yeah. One is say Vijayalakshmi and Brahmananda, both you can share because people have different. Actually, it's very, very interesting. I told you this Adhyayanam. Adhyayana is of Krishna Yajurveda is 2,279 verses. My Sukta, Anuvakas. My father was 7 or 8 when he was doing it 110 years ago. So at that time in Talakadu village, they did not believe sending Brahmins kids to school because they thought they get contaminated and the school was open for everyone. So my grandfather just wanted him to learn at home. But Adhyayanam, all this Krishna Yajurvedam. But my grandmother, she secretly took him and admitted him to the school by saying that by doing Adhyayana, you won't have for Madhyana. That means if you do Adhyayana, you won't be able to earn meal even for your lunch. So you have to go and get educated. So always women tend to have a better foresight than men. So that's why Gita also is called woman. That's the reason. Ambatvam. So it has in other words, it gives the right amount. It doesn't give 1,217 anuvakas, but nice. So that's why Kalidasa says, Strinam hi ashikshita patutvam amanushinam. Women have naturally able to come up with good ideas like that, wisdom.
Anupama madam has a question.
Okay.
Yeah, namaste.
Namaste.
So my question is about, here it's, Gita, in this chapter again and again, he speaks about a Kshatriya's duties.
Yes.
And Arjuna should not run away as a Kshatriya from the war field.
Yeah.
So my question is, in the current society, even a person who's born a Brahmin may have to go and fight fight as a soldier. And vice versa. Something like this. So many changes have happened in the society. So would that be treated like a Brahmin has quit his dharma and gone into another dharma?
No. It's whatever you followed, that is dharma. If a Brahmin is fighting in a battle or a Kshatriya or a warrior, he is a Kshatriya. Like Drona was a Brahmin, right? But he was a Kshatriya here. So it is all these varnas he made based on aptitude. Then it became like a family affair, right?
Yeah.
So if you are a person, you are in the military, you are actually a Kshatriya. It doesn't matter what your family was. You are born as a Brahmana or Vaishya or Shudra, doesn't matter. You are actually a Kshatriya. And Ambedkar was a Dalit. But for me, Ambedkar is a Brahmana because an intellectual. By birth, he was that's why he said, Ambedkar himself said, caste is by birth, varna is by birth, caste is by birth, but your whatever ability is by your worth. Your worth and birth, they not be same. So birth is just depend on who you are born to, right? But actual varna is by worth. So if you are a warrior, you are a kshatriya. I see many of my colleagues who are scientists at institute. When they came to America, they continued as postdoc for 1 or 2 years. Once they got their green card, they entered into business. They opened a shop, Patel Brothers and things like that, and they went to farming companies, business like that. But actually, they were Vaishyas. For whatever reason, they studied, but when you give opportunity and freedom, your real color shows up. Varna is basically your color. Your color shows up depending as the opportunity comes, right?
So irrespective of your birth, a person might have chosen to change their profession.
That is your Varna, really. Yeah. What you choose is your Varna. Aptitude. We'll come to that in chapter 3. It comes. We'll discuss about it. So one is by birth. Yes, birth is one, but your worth is by what you do.
But you know, if a Brahmin becomes, let us say, a business person, and
Yeah.
he stops doing his duties as a Brahmin, whatever he's supposed to do, like, you know, Sandhya Vandana or maybe any Vedic
No,
chant.
Sandhya Vandanam was for Kshatriyas and Vaishyas also.
Yes,
Sandhya
but
Vandanam is for
Vedic
all three.
chanting.
For Brahmins, Vaishyas and Kshatriyas, all this Janivara, then Sandhya Vandanam is all there. Actually, Krishna
Dvijas,
Yajurveda, yeah, it is.
Dvijas, as Dvijas they might have, but you know, Vedic chanting may not be there for everyone,
No,
right?
all of them, all three.
Okay.
Actually, Krishna Yajurveda even divided who should do what. Krishna Yajurveda says Rigveda is for the Vaishyas.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Samaveda is for the Brahmins. Yajurveda is for Kshatriyas.
Oh, wow, I did not know this.
Yeah. Okay. Mantra comes in that.
What
So
about
it is.
Atharvana Veda? Is it not even?
Atharvana Veda, somehow there is no, it was not discussed in that. Atharvana Veda is much a later Veda, I think. There is no Atharvana Veda Upakarma either.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we are exceeding the time, so we can stop here,
Thank you.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, thank
Sarve bhavantu sukhinaha, sarve santu niramayaha,
you.
sarve
Sarve
bhadra